What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about ice makers, and this one is from Freezimer. This is one of their nugget ice makers out there, just a standalone unit, and they have different ones. This one's $159. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check it out. They do have a smaller one for about 100 bucks. It really depends on how much ice you want to make, but this is kind of their tabletop ones in a larger variation. It makes, I think, 33 pounds of ice a day. Now the basket itself inside here only produces about only holds about 3.3 pounds. But if you keep it going, keep it flowing, you'll be able to do about 33 pounds of ice a day. So we're gonna talk about what you get in the box here with this ice maker. Not only do you get the ice maker, you have vents here. You got a vent, exhaust vent here, or intake vent here. And then you also have an intake vent here with an exhaust on the back side. So what you're wanting to do here is at least leave this from 6 inches from any walls, 6 inches from the back, 6 inches from the side, and each side here. So that way it doesn't prevent airflow and keeping this thing cool, allowing it to make ice. Now, another thing is they say don't put it near anything hot like a stove. I did put it next to the stove for just kind of checking it out purposes. We don't necessarily use the stove quite often right now on the weekend, but I just wanted to check this out for you guys and kind of get you a video. So here's the actual main unit. It does open up right here, and it comes with this basket here, which you can remove. And then what you'll do is you're going to put water inside here, and they do have a max fill line. So you'll put water in there, and now it thinks it's out of ice, or at least can fill it up, which it actually can. But you got the basket here, and when you remove the basket, you're able to fill this up with water, and then you can dump the ice out of here. So along with that, you do have a user manual for the ice maker. Here's the model number right here. It's the 𝐼M2200-UL. They provide you a cup. This is a 24-ounce cup, so that way you can fill the water up. It takes about 3 of these to fill up to the max line. I was thinking that it might take 1, but it does take 3 of these to fill to the max line. And then you got an ice scooper. I don't really know where to put this ice scooper. Maybe put it in here. I don't know. The last thing I want to do is contaminate the ice with people touching this and then touching the ice at all times. So I just kind of put it in the cup and put it behind the machine itself. So as you can hear, this is how loud the machine is. They say it's louder than a whisper, but also quieter than music, I think is what it said. I would agree. It's a little bit louder than I would have liked. If you have it in your kitchen or near, like it's a little bit louder than normal, like you would think, than like a fridge or something like that. But it's not too bad. I just want to make sure you understood how loud it is. I hope you can get a good sense of how loud it is when it's actually making ice. Once it's done making ice, it shuts off. And that's another thing to think about here is this thing makes ice, it doesn't keep ice. So if you're looking for an ice machine that's going to keep ice cold, it'll continue, it'll make ice, and as you can see, it's kind of melting this away a little bit, but it doesn't keep the ice cold. So, or at least it keeps it as cold as it can, but it doesn't like refrigerate and keep it cold. So it'll just start melting the ice if you don't use it frequently. So they do say if you're not going to use ice for a couple days, to go ahead and turn it off, or hit pause and go ahead and turn it off and put the ice somewhere else, like in the fridge or something like that, or in the freezer. I don't know why I said fridge there. On the top here, we do have some buttons here. I want to go through all the buttons up on the top. So at the top, we do have buttons here from left to right. You have large ice, small ice, clean, start and pause, start and pause, select mode, ice making, add water, and ice full. So right now I have it making small ice cubes or ice nuggets. I will show, here's what the difference between a large and a small ice nugget looks like, but you can select whichever you want. You can even select whichever you want in the middle of it making ice. So like if it makes large nuggets at the beginning and then small ones later, you decide. I can even select the mode now if I wanted to. Right now I can hit pause if I wanted to. The green means that's what it's doing. So right now it's making small ice, and it is ice making right now. Now, if this is blinking red where it says add water, obviously, what does it need? It needs water. So you'll need to add more water before it can make more ice. And then if ice is full, it needs, you need to remove some ice before it starts making new ones. So let's go ahead and check out why and how that works. By the way, those lights blinking, flashing, I see it on my camera. Those are solid lights. I think it's just the, how the camera's set up. So if you see here, there's a little, I don't know if they're infrared lights, but right here and right here, you have 2 little sensors. And if ice is in between those two, it will know that it's full and stop making ice. Now what does happen is When it dumps the ice out, it does get to a certain point and it stops it from making ice. You can go ahead and take that scoop or your hand and start pushing it to the front, and it'll allow you to make a little bit more ice than what's in there at capacity, because it doesn't quite push it all the way down. It is kind of set up to do that, but doesn't. I've never seen an ice maker, a nugget maker like this, push it all the way down. So you can kind of cheat the system just a little bit. But what it'll do is it freezes the ice onto their little prongs, and then it'll release it out of this, as you can see here, into the ice maker. So a few things at the end here. They do say 7 minutes fast ice making. It makes 9 pieces of ice within 7 to 10 minutes. So every time it releases ice in, that's 9 pieces of ice, and it can do it within 7 to 10 minutes. 33 pounds of daily production of ice if you keep removing the basket and filling up something else. So 3.3 pounds of ice in the actual ice basket here. And the water tank holds about 2.8 liters of water in the bottom of here, the reservoir here. Now, I will say that it seemed like that one reservoir of water filled up 1 basket of ice, maybe a little bit more than that. So you'll need to keep up on that as well, keeping this filled with ice. I went ahead and used the filtered water that I have to keep filling this up with water to get the best ice possible. Now, if you are not using this, like we said, if you're not using this on a daily basis, getting new ice, it will melt them together. It's already starting to do that a little bit, as you can see right here, versus the ones that just dumped. But if you're not using this on a daily basis, what they do say is go ahead and drain the water out of this and take the ice out and turn it off. It does have a plug on the bottom, so that way make sure you unplug it before you start messing with the water and all that, like draining it or anything like that. They don't want you to turn it upside down or anything like that. They do have a plug on the bottom here that you just remove. So you can just kind of scoot this up to your sink and pull the plug to drain the water out of the bottom here. Make sure you unplug it first, and then just remove the ice that you have in here. Put them in a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag, or even your ice chest in your fridge, like your Samsung that doesn't work. Thanks, Samsung. So that's the ice nugget machine from Freezimer that we have here for $159. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check out current pricing, as well as their other products that they have, because they also do have other types of nugget ice makers, along with a smaller one for a little bit cheaper. It just depends how much ice you need to make in a day, or how much ice you actually need to make, and how much you're pissed off about Samsung. I won't let it go, Samsung, but this is what you get for $159, all the features here. So if you have any questions or comments about this, go ahead and put in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. If this video helped you out in any way, go ahead and leave me a like. And if this is your first time to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.